Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to see diesel cycle or diesel engine. Now diesel engine is also called compression ignition engine. It is also called compression ignition engine, CI engine. C stands for compression, I for ignition, compression ignition engine. And here the working fuel used is diesel. Now in previous lectures we have seen Otto cycle. In case of Otto cycle, the working fuel was petrol and Otto cycle was called as SI engine, spark ignition engine. But in diesel cycle, the working fuel used is diesel and it is called compression ignition engine. And my dear students, in case of diesel cycle, during suction stroke only air is taken in and fuel injector is used to spray fuel inside cylinder after compression stroke. Now let us understand this. Here during suction stroke only air is taken in. Let us draw the diesel engine or compression ignition engine. Let us say this is a cylinder of an engine. Let us say here it is a cylinder of engine, right? I will say it is a cylinder. Now inside this cylinder piston is reciprocating from dead centers, that is from top dead center. Here it is a piston position at top dead center, TDC, top dead center, to bottom dead center. Between these two extreme positions, that is top dead center and bottom dead center, the piston can reciprocate. Now let us say the piston is at top dead center, TDC, and then I will open the inlet wall. Let us say here there is a inlet wall, IV, and if inlet wall is open and the motion of piston is allowed from top dead center to bottom dead center, during this stroke there will be a air is taken in. This is called suction stroke. Now in case of diesel cycle, only air is taken in during suction stroke. Here we can say only air is taken in during suction stroke when your piston moves from top dead center to bottom dead center. This is called suction stroke. But in case of Otto cycle, air fuel mixture was taken in, and in case of diesel cycle only air is taken in. Now the new position of piston is at BDC. After suction stroke the piston will be at BDC. So let us say 0 to 1 is suction stroke, right? From TDC to BDC it is a suction stroke, that is 0 to 1 is a suction stroke. Now once suction stroke is completed, that is piston is at position 1, that is BDC, then inlet wall is now open or closed. Now I will close this inlet wall, and again the piston is moving from bottom dead center to top dead center, and during this stroke it is called compression stroke because the air inside this cylinder will get compressed, right? Let us say again piston comes to the top dead center at position 2, means 0 and 2 are at same location, and this 1 to 2 is called compression stroke because during this process the inlet wall as well as exhaust wall is closed and air is compressed from 1 to 2. And my dear students, in Otto cycle we have seen that this compression process is reversible adiabatic, very fast process. And here also in case of diesel cycle, this 1 to 2, this compression process is reversible adiabatic process. Therefore the compression ratio here again we can define compression ratio is V1 divided by V2, same as that of Otto cycle, the same we have defined for Otto cycle. And as it is reversible adiabatic process, the process 1 to 2 we can define like, let us say T2 divided by T1 is equal to P2 divided by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to V1 divided by V2 raised to gamma minus 1. And this V1 divided by V2 is nothing but RK, that is compression ratio. See my dear students, here I am only explaining the concept of diesel engine. Again in cycle, while doing analysis of heat and work calculation and efficiency calculation, all these terms again we are going to see, right, whenever we draw PV diagram. Here quickly I am explaining you the concept only, right? So we can say this T2 divided by T1 is equal to RK raised to compression raised to gamma minus 1. Therefore this T2, temperature at the end of compression, T2 is temperature at the end of compression, is nothing but T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1. And my dear students, in case of diesel cycle, this compression ratio RK is nothing but 16 to 22. In case of diesel cycle, compression ratio is very high. And in case of Otto cycle, this is for diesel, that is 16 to 22, and this compression ratio for Otto cycle is 6 to 12. 6 to 12 for Otto cycle, that is petrol engine. So my dear students, can you simply say here, as compression ratio for diesel cycle is very high as compared to Otto cycle, therefore temperature at the end of compression, that is T2, is very high, and this temperature at the end of compression, that is T2, is more than self ignition temperature of diesel. Self ignition temperature, this temperature at the end of compression in case of diesel cycle is more than self ignition temperature. That means whatever may be the compressed air at 2 is at a temperature more than self ignition temperature. Hence this air is waiting for the diesel to come so that ignition will start, right? As temperature is already more than self ignition temperature, therefore this air is only in a wait of diesel or fuel, right? Now the role of fuel injector will start. Now here, after, whenever the piston comes at 2, that is after compression stroke, here the role of fuel injector will start, and there will be a fuel injector like this. There will be a fuel injector like this. Here the fuel injector will look like this. Let us say schematic view. This is a fuel injector. Fuel injector. Now this fuel injector will inject diesel inside this piston cylinder assembly or in this system in spray form. Now this fuel injector will inject diesel in spray form like this, and as soon as this diesel or fuel comes into the system, and as the temperature after compression T2 is more than self ignition temperature, hence immediate ignition will start. Hence in case of CI engine, that is diesel engine, no need to provide spark plug as like petrol engine. Here after compression only temperature is more than self ignition temperature, so here we don't need spark plug for the ignition. Hence diesel engine is also called compression ignition engine, and no need of spark plug. Instead of spark plug there is a fuel injector, but in case of Otto cycle there was spark plug. To reach temperature after compression more than self ignition temperature, we required spark plug for Otto cycle or petrol cycle, but in case of diesel cycle no need of spark plug, right? Now my dear students, here I am injecting the fuel. Simultaneously this piston which is at top dead center is also moving towards bottom dead center, right? Now this fuel injection is continuous, and when piston reaches the location 3, let us say this location 3, when your piston reaches up to location 3, we are injecting the fuel, right? Means up to 3 continuously fuel is injected, means continuously there will be a combustion. And my dear students, can you imagine here, from 2 to 3 there is expansion as well as there is fuel injection, right? And as from 2 to 3 there is a expansion, because of this expansion pressure must decrease. Because of this expansion stroke pressure must decrease. But from 2 to 3 I am injecting the fuel, means there is a combustion, and because of this combustion there will be a heat addition, right? Because of this combustion there will be heat addition, which is also called ignition, ignition of fuel, right? And because of this ignition or heat addition or combustion, pressure inside piston cylinder assembly must increase, right? So after compression there are two processes. From 2 to 3 there are two things, that is because of expansion pressure is decreasing, but because of ignition or heat addition pressure is decreasing. So in case of diesel cycle, from 2 to 3 we are assuming it is a constant pressure process, right? From 2 to 3 we are assuming heat addition at constant pressure process. Now again my dear students, from 1 to 2 this is a compression process. 1 to 2 is compression process, and during this compression process it is a reversible adiabatic compression. Therefore this equation T2 divided by T1, which is equal to P2 divided by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma, is equal to V1 divided by V2 raised to gamma minus 1. This is valid, and this V1 divided by V2 is called compression ratio, which is RK. Therefore RK raised to gamma minus 1, this equation is valid. Now my dear students, from this, and we have seen this compression ratio for diesel cycle is 16 to 22. for diesel cycle, right? But for petrol cycle, the same compression ratio was 6 to 12, right? This is for petrol cycle. So my dear students, as compression ratio of diesel cycle is more than compression ratio of petrol cycle, therefore temperature at the end of compression as well as pressure at the end of compression will be more in case of diesel cycle as compared to petrol cycle, right? Here simply put in equations, right? As this arc is more, therefore pressure at the end of compression as well as temperature at the end of compression will be more in case of diesel cycle as compared to Otto cycle. Therefore this T2 for diesel cycle is more than T2 for petrol cycle, as well as P2 for diesel cycle is more than P2 for petrol cycle, right? Or Otto cycle, we can say petrol cycle is also called Otto cycle. Therefore the maximum pressure in the cycle will be more for diesel engine. The maximum pressure in the cycle will be more for diesel engine. So my dear students, this engine is nothing but one type of pressure vessel. Whatever may be the engine, either it is a Otto engine or diesel engine, it is a one type of pressure vessel. So as maximum pressure in case of diesel cycle is more than Otto cycle, therefore whatever may be the hoop stresses, it is a cylindrical pressure vessel. Hoop stress in the component is nothing but maximum pressure into diameter divided by 2t, right? This is a formula from strength of material, that is to calculate hoop stress for any pressure vessel. Maximum pressure into internal diameter divided by 2 into thickness of that vessel. Therefore to keep these stresses in permissible limit, let us say my target is to minimize these stresses. So to keep these stresses in permissible limit or safe limit, as pressure is increasing, I have to increase thickness also. If maximum pressure is increasing, then I have to increase the thickness of vessel also. So in case of diesel cycle, as maximum pressure is more, so thickness of diesel engine is also more, right? Thickness of diesel engine is also more. And my dear students, as thickness is increasing, can we say mass is increasing? And as mass is increasing, so for purchasing more mass, we need more cost. Therefore cost of engine is also increasing. Again my dear students, inertia is nothing but mass into acceleration. Inertia is nothing but mass into acceleration, inertia forces, right? And as mass is increasing, inertia is also increasing. Inertia is also increasing, and whenever there is more inertia, my dear students, there will be more vibrations. Therefore as inertia is increasing, vibrations are increasing. Vibrations are increasing. So my dear students, whenever vibrations are increasing, then maintenance is also increasing. Because of more vibration, there will be a more maintenance. Therefore maintenance cost is also increasing for diesel engine. So my dear students, whenever we are comparing Otto cycle with diesel cycle, in case of diesel cycle, thickness is more, hence mass of engine is more, hence cost of engine is more, hence inertia and vibration will be more, hence the maintenance cost of the engine will be more. So life of engine will be less. That is, life of diesel vehicles is less as compared to life of petrol vehicles. But my dear students, though the cost of diesel vehicle is more as well as life of diesel vehicle is less, still we need diesel vehicle because load carrying capacity of diesel vehicle is more. We can say load carrying capacity of diesel vehicle is more. That means for transportation of heavy load, always we need diesel vehicle because petrol engine cannot do transportation of heavy loads, right? My dear students, so if you see heavy vehicles such as military vehicles, you will find diesel is used as a fuel in military vehicles, as well as for transportation vehicles such as trucks, buses, diesel is used as a fuel, means the engine is diesel engine, right? And my dear students, for petrol engine, as pressure is decreasing, for petrol engine, as maximum pressure is less as compared to diesel engine, therefore thickness of petrol vehicle or petrol engine is less, hence mass of petrol vehicle is less, hence cost of petrol vehicle is less, hence inertia is also less, hence vibrations are less, hence maintenance cost is less. hence maintenance cost is less, so life of vehicle will be more. For petrol vehicle, life is more because vibrations and maintenance cost is less. And my dear students, the purpose of petrol vehicle, here we are discussing about petrol vehicle, that is auto cycle, the purpose of petrol vehicle is speed. Speed is our target, means as mass is less and thick, as mass is less, hence speed of petrol vehicle is more. That means in racing cars, if you see in racing cars, generally racing cars will be having petrol engine, because in case of racing car we need speed, but in case of transportation vehicle we need lower carrying capacity, right? So heavy vehicles are made with the help of diesel engine, and lightweight vehicles, that is racing car vehicles, are made with the help of petrol engine. Now my dear students, let us understand fuel injection principle. Let us say in case of this diesel engine, let us say this is a cylinder, and after compression the piston will be at top dead center. After compression piston will be at this top dead center, right? And here there will be a fuel injector, that already we have seen, right? Now in this fuel injector, my dear students, let us say this is a fuel injector, right? Now here after compression the pressure inside cylinder is maximum pressure, right? Here let us say the pressure inside cylinder is very high after compression. Now, and the flow is always from high pressure to low pressure, therefore if I want to inject fuel, let us say whatever may be the fuel in the fuel injector, if I want to inject this fuel inside the cylinder, then the pressure inside this fuel injector must be more than cylinder pressure. Therefore the pressure inside injector is always more than pressure inside cylinder, and my dear students, after compression already the pressure inside cylinder is more than atmospheric pressure, right? This pressure is already more than atmospheric pressure, right? That means the pressure inside injector is more than cylinder pressure, and cylinder pressure is more than atmospheric pressure. And my dear students, due to very high pressure difference, because of this very high pressure difference and rough opening at orifice, there is a orifice, right? While injecting fuel there is a orifice, and because of this very high pressure difference and because of rough opening of this orifice, atomization will occur. Now there will be atomization, we can say here atomization will occur, right? And my dear students, atomization is a process in which the liquid will split into smallest possible size. What is the atomization? Atomization means the liquid molecule will split into smallest possible size is called atomization, and because of this surface area increases, right? Because of this atomization we can say surface area will increase. Let us say we have large particle of liquid, let us say this is a liquid, and after atomization, if once atomization takes place, because of this atomization this large particle will split into number of smaller particles, and because of this surface area will increase. The surface area is summation of all the surface areas of these small particles, therefore surface area is increasing. And because of, my dear students, because of this increase in surface area there will be a vaporization of fuel, right? Because of this increase in surface area there will be a vaporization of fuel, right? That means this liquid will convert into vapor. Vaporization means conversion of liquid fuel into vapor, right? And my dear students, because of this vaporization there will be a uniform distribution of air fuel mixture, right? Because of this vaporization, let us say there will be a uniform distribution of air fuel mixture. In case of this air, these are the fuel particles, and fuel particles are uniformly distributed in case of this air fuel mixture, right? And if I take very small point here, let us concentrate on this very small point, and if I look at this, right, there will be a, this point will look like this. Let us say there is a air and there is a this vapor particle or fuel particle, this is a fuel particle and surrounded with air, and there will be a uniform distribution of air fuel mixture. Now my dear students, this temperature at the end of compression, this T2, temperature at the end of compression, right? That is temperature of air is more than self ignition temperature of fuel, is more than self ignition temperature of fuel. Because of this fuel particle will start igniting, that is this fuel particle starts burning, and which adds the heat inside this piston cylinder assembly. Now my dear students, after increasing surface area and after vaporization, now for mixing of this air fuel, that is for air fuel mixture or for mixing air with fuel, we need some time. The physical mixing of air and fuel, we need some time, and this time is called physical delay or lag. This time is called physical delay or also called lag, also called lag. That is the time required for physical mixing of air and fuel particles is known as physical delay or lag. This is the basic about diesel engine. Now my dear students, let us understand diesel cycle. For diesel cycle, here we will draw pressure versus volume diagram and temperature versus entropy diagram. Let us say here pressure versus volume diagram, and on another diagram temperature versus entropy diagram, Now here let us say there is a piston cylinder assembly. Always for any engine there is a piston cylinder assembly. Let us say here it is a piston cylinder assembly. For this piston cylinder assembly, this is a cylinder of engine. Here piston is reciprocating from the extreme dead centers, that is the piston extreme positions are, this is a top dead center. Here you can see this location as a top dead center to the bottom dead center. These are the two extreme points, bottom dead center, between which the piston can reciprocate. Right here, this is the piston and this is a cylinder. Between these two extreme points, the piston can reciprocate. Right, and this volume is called clearance volume. Right, so here this volume at top dead center, we can say when your piston is at top dead center, whatever the volume, this volume is called clearance volume, VC. Right, and this from top dead center to bottom dead center, this volume is called swept volume. Therefore from top dead center to bottom dead center, this volume is called swept volume, Vs. Right, now again let us say the piston initially at top dead center, and this is a zero position, of piston, and the piston whenever it is at zero position, that is top dead center, then I will open the inlet valve. Here this inlet valve is open. Now for this CI engine or diesel engine, during suction stroke, that is when piston moves from top dead center to bottom dead center, when inlet valve is open and piston is moving from top dead center to bottom dead center, the the air is taken in. Here only air is taken in, during suction stroke. Right, now here piston moves from top dead center to bottom dead center, and outside atmospheric air is taken in. Therefore initially at zero, the pressure is atmospheric and temperature is atmospheric. Let's say this is zero location where pressure is atmospheric and temperature is also atmospheric. Now during suction stroke, as inlet valve is open to atmosphere, therefore during suction stroke the pressure remains constant, that is atmospheric pressure remains constant. Let us say now the new position of piston is at BDC at 1. Let us say this is location 1. Right, therefore from 0 to 1, that is suction stroke, pressure remains constant. Suction is constant pressure process. Therefore here we can say 0 to 1, first process is 0 to 1 is suction process, or we can say suction stroke for the engine. And during the suction stroke, that is P naught is equal to P1 is equal to atmospheric pressure, which remains constant. Right, and during suction stroke only air is taken in case of diesel cycle, but in case of petrol cycle, that is Otto cycle, air plus fuel mixture was taken in, and in case of diesel cycle only air is taken in. Now the new position of piston is at 1. Right, now whenever piston is at 1, now close the inlet valve, and exhaust valve is already closed. Now by closing the inlet and exhaust valve, the piston moves from bottom dead center to top dead center very fastly, that is reversible adiabatically, and this process is called compression stroke. Right, from 1 to 2, again piston moves from bottom dead center to top dead center very fastly, and inlet and exhaust valve are closed, therefore this is a compression stroke. Therefore 1 to 2 process will be like this, 1 to 2, and this 1 to 2 Second process 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic compression. Reversible adiabatic compression. Reversible adiabatic compression is also called isentropic compression. That means during this compression process, PV raised to gamma is equal to constant. PV raised to gamma is equal to constant. Therefore, entropy remains constant. Therefore, from 1 to 2, if I draw TS diagram, during reversible adiabatic compression process, heating effect will be there and entropy remains constant. Therefore, 1 to 2, entropy remains constant and temperature increases. This is reversible adiabatic compression or isentropic compression, that is entropy remains constant. Now, after 2, once the piston reaches at 2, that is from BDC to TDC, now the new position of piston is at top dead center. Now, whenever the piston is at top dead center, then there will be a work of fuel injector. Let us say there is a fuel injector like this. There is a fuel injector like this, right? Now, with the help of this fuel injector, we will inject the fuel inside this piston cylinder assembly, right? This fuel injector will inject the fuel in spray form, that already we have seen. Now, here during fuel injection, there will be as soon as the fuel is injected after compression, that is T2, temperature after compression is more than self ignition temperature of the fuel. Self ignition temperature of the fuel. Therefore, as soon as the fuel enters into the piston cylinder assembly, then ignition starts, and because of ignition, pressure will increase, right? And as well as along with ignition, there is a expansion stroke, and because of expansion stroke, pressure will decrease. Let us say up to 3, let us say up to 3 location, I will start injecting fuel, and at 3 I will cut off the fuel supply. At 3, fuel is cut off. That is, fuel supply is cut off, right? Means up to 3 there will be a heat addition. As I am injecting the fuel, addition of fuel means heat addition, right? Therefore, from 2 to 3 it is a heat addition process. Heat addition process. And my dear students, due to ignition, from 2 to 3 pressure must increase. Pressure must increase. And due to expansion, from 2 to 3, due to expansion, pressure must decrease. Therefore, here we are assuming that from 2 to 3, that is heat addition process, is constant pressure process. Therefore, from 2 to 3, heat is added at constant pressure. From 2 to 3, heat is added at constant pressure. Therefore, on TS diagram, the constant pressure process are represented like this. Slope is positive like this. That is a constant pressure heat addition. Heat addition means entropy increases, and at constant pressure, heat addition means temperature also increases. Therefore, 3 will be here, 2 to 3, right? And at 3, fuel supply is cut off, and as soon as fuel supply is cut off, then heat addition will end. Therefore, 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat supply. So third process, that is 2 to 3, is constant pressure heat supply. Heat addition also we can say, heat addition. Now, after 3, the piston is moving towards bottom dead center. Therefore, from 3 to 4, piston moves to bottom dead center, and during this there will be expansion, and this is very fast process. This is very fast process. Therefore, it is a reversible adiabatic expansion. Therefore, from 3 to 4, fourth process is 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic. Reversible adiabatic is also called isentropic expansion, right? Very fast motion. Therefore, reversible adiabatic process is represented like this: 3 to 4 reversible adiabatic expansion. And on TS diagram, reversible adiabatic expansion gives cooling effect at constant entropy. Therefore, temperature drops from 3 to 4 at constant entropy, that is straight vertical line. Now, at the end of expansion, if you see the pressure P4, this pressure is more than P1, that is inlet pressure or atmospheric pressure, right? Therefore, at the end of expansion, the pressure is more than outside pressure or surrounding pressure, or called atmospheric pressure. So, because of this pressure difference, if I open here exhaust valve, let us say this exhaust valve is open, then almost 90% of exhaust gases will leave the system whenever the piston is at BDC only, right? Because of this pressure difference, 90% of exhaust gases will leave the system or piston cylinder assembly because of this pressure difference whenever piston is at BDC only. Therefore, and while these gases are leaving the system, they will take away heat from with them. Therefore, we are considering the heat rejection is at constant volume process. From 4 to 1, heat will be rejected at constant volume process, right? Hence the fifth process, which is nothing but 4 to 1, is heat rejection at constant volume heat rejection. Then now there are minor exhaust gases present inside the piston cylinder assembly, because already 90% exhaust gases are major exhaust gases are leave, leaving the system whenever the piston is at BDC only. So to throw out this remaining 10%, that is minor exhaust gases, this piston motion is allowed from bottom dead center to top dead center, and this is called exhaust stroke. And during this stroke, the pressure inside will remain constant. So from 1 to 0, we can say from 1 to 0 is exhaust stroke. 6 number 1 to 0 is exhaust stroke. Exhaust stroke at constant pressure, right? At constant pressure, that is P1 is equal to P naught is equal to P atmosphere, which is constant. So my dear students, whenever there is heat rejection at constant volume from 4 to 1, on TS diagram, the constant volume process will be having positive slope. That is, whenever heat rejected, entropy will decrease and temperature also decreases. So from 4 to 1, it is heat rejection at constant volume. Heat rejection at constant volume, right? So my dear students, the process 0 to 1, which is suction, and 1 to 0, which is exhaust, these two processes are not the part of cycle, right? The cycle is from 1 2 3 4 and 1. Therefore whenever drawing diesel cycle, I will consider 1 2 3 4 1, this cycle only. So in case of diesel cycle, if I draw pressure versus volume diagram, and let us do the analysis, right? On PV diagram, process 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic compression. 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic compression. 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat supply. Constant pressure heat supply. 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic expansion, and 4 to 1 is constant volume heat rejection. These are the various processes. The volume at 2 is called clearance volume. Volume between 1 and 2 is swept volume. And up to 2 volume is called clearance volume. Now here the processes are, various processes are: number 1, process 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic compression. Reversible adiabatic compression. Now during reversible adiabatic compression, heat is 0, entropy remains constant, and the equation of this process is T2 divided by T1 is equal to P2 divided by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to V1 divided by V2 raised to gamma minus. Now here this ratio V1 divided by V2 is a ratio of volume for compression process. It is called compression stroke. Therefore we can say compression stroke. For compression stroke, compression ratio, which is nothing but represented by RK. Therefore compression ratio is equal to V1 divided by V2. And my dear students, for this V1 we can say clearance volume plus swept volume. Therefore it is clearance volume plus swept volume. And for V2 we can say it is a clearance volume divided by clearance volume. Therefore this RK, which is nothing but V1 divided by V2, is nothing but 1 plus swept volume divided by clearance volume. And my dear students, we already know that the ratio of clearance volume and swept volume is called clearance ratio. That already we have seen in Otto cycle. Therefore here swept volume divided by clearance volume is nothing but 1 upon clearance ratio. Therefore compression ratio is equal to V1 divided by V2, which is nothing but 1 plus 1 upon compression ratio. Sorry, clearance ratio. C is for clearance ratio. Hence we can say this T2 divided by T1 is equal to RK raised to gamma minus 1. V1 divided by V2 is compression ratio, RK raised to gamma minus 1. Right. From this we can say T2 is equal to T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1. Now this is our first relation, temperature T2 in terms of temperature T1 and compression ratio. Right. Now next process is number 2. Process number 2 is 2 to 3. Now this 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat supply. At constant pressure, heat supplied to the system. Heat supplied to the system. Right. Therefore during this process, heat supply is equal to, for constant pressure processes, heat supply is nothing but mCp dt. That is, whenever heat supply is at constant pressure, it is mCp, and for constant volume it is mCv. That already you have learned in basics of thermodynamics. Hence heat supply is equal to mCp T3 minus T2. This will be the heat supply during the process. Now again, my dear students, as it is constant volume, constant pressure process, 2 to 3 is constant pressure process. So for constant pressure process, volume is directly proportional to temperature, right? And this is called Charles law. Therefore we can say V3 divided by V2 is equal to T3 divided by T2. This relation we will get. And my dear students, this V3 divided by V2 is called cutoff ratio, because at 2 fuel supply started and at 3 fuel supply is cut off. Therefore this V3 divided by V2 is called cutoff ratio, which is represented by RC. Therefore we can say RC, which is nothing but cutoff ratio, V3 divided by V2 is nothing but T3 divided by T2. From this we can say T3 is equal to T2 into RC, right? From this we can say T3 temperature after heat addition is equal to T2 into RC. And my dear students, from equation 1 put the value of T2 in this equation. Therefore we will get T3 is equal to T2 is T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1 into RC. This will be your second equation, which is required later, right? T3 is equal to T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1 gamma minus 1 into RC. I am writing the required parameters, that is T2 is equal to T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1. T2 is nothing but T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1. Then heat supply is equal to MCP T3 minus T2. Heat supply is equal to MCP T3 minus T2, and T3 is equal to T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1 into RC. T3 is equal to T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1 into RC. These are required later. Now let us do the further analysis. Go for process 3 to 4. Now if I do analysis for process 3 to 4, process 3 to 4 is expansion process. Therefore there will be an expansion ratio. For process 3 to 4, it is a reversible adiabatic expansion. We can say 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic expansion. So for this process the equation will be T3 divided by T4 is equal to P3 divided by P4 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to V4 divided by V3 raised to gamma minus 1. Therefore, and my dear students, this V4 divided by V3 is volume ratio for expansion process, which is called expansion ratio, RE, which is nothing but V4 divided by V3 is called expansion ratio. Therefore from this we can say T3 divided by T4 is equal to RE, expansion ratio raised to gamma minus 1. So my dear students, from this we can calculate T4, right? Therefore T4 is equal to T3 divided by RE raised to gamma minus 1. So my dear students, let us derive one relation between compression ratio, cutoff ratio and expansion ratio. Now we have compression ratio RK is equal to V1 divided by V2, that we have seen. Then cutoff ratio is V3 divided by V2, and expansion ratio RE is equal to V4 divided by V3. And my dear students, we know that this V4 is equal to V1, because from 4 to 1 it is constant volume heat rejection. Therefore we know that V4 is equal to V1. Therefore we can say RE is equal to V1 divided by V3, right? Now let us multiply this RC with RE. RC into RE is equal to, RC is V3 divided by V2 into RE is V1 divided by V3. Now here V3 will get cancelled, it will become V1 divided by V2, which is nothing but RK. Therefore we can say the product of cutoff ratio and expansion ratio is called compression ratio. Here compression ratio is equal to product of cutoff ratio and expansion ratio. Very important relation, right? So my dear students, can I simplify this T4? Now this T4 is nothing but, here we have already derived, T4 is equal to T3 divided by RE raised to gamma minus 1. And my dear students, T3 already we have derived one expression in terms of T1. So derive this expression for T4 in terms of T1. So put T3 here. From here we can put T3 in terms of T1. Therefore we will get T4 is equal to, T3 is T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1 into RC divided by RE raised to gamma minus 1. Now my dear students, already we have derived one relation, RK is equal to RC into RE. Therefore, RK divided by RE is RC, right? Therefore, from this relation, can I say RK divided by RE is equal to RC, which is nothing but put here. Therefore, T4 is equal to T1. Here, RK divided by RE is RC. Therefore, here RC raised to gamma minus 1 into RC. Now, here RC raised to 1, RC raised to gamma minus 1. Here 1 will get cancelled. Therefore, T4 will remain. T4 is equal to T1 RC raised to gamma. This is school level mathematics that you must know. Therefore, here I am writing T4 is equal to T1 RC raised to gamma. Now, these are the various temperatures in terms of T1. Here, equation of T2, T3 and T4 we have derived in terms of T1. Now, let us understand the another process, that is process 4 to 1, which is constant volume heat rejection. Therefore, process 4 to 1 is constant volume heat rejection. And my dear students, as it is constant volume process, so heat rejected for this process is nothing but MCV. For constant volume process, we have to consider specific heat at constant volume. MCV T4 minus T1. This will be the heat rejected. So let us write this heat rejected. Heat rejected from the system is MCV T4 minus T1. So let us go for efficiency calculation. If I calculate efficiency here, now for any cycle, efficiency of that cycle is equal to output divided by input. And here output is always W net for work producing cycles or engine. W net input is heat supply. W net is heat supply minus heat rejected divided by heat supply, right? Therefore, I can write 1 minus heat rejected divided by heat supply. So, efficiency of diesel cycle is equal to 1 minus heat rejected from the diesel cycle divided by heat supply to the diesel cycle, which is nothing but 1 minus heat rejected is MCV T4 minus T1 divided by heat supply is MCP T3 minus T2. Here we have written in corner, we have written heat supply, heat rejected, right? So let us do the analysis. Therefore, here mass will get cancelled, and we know that Cp divided by Cv is adiabatic index gamma. Therefore, Cv divided by Cp is 1 upon gamma. So put here Cv divided by Cp is 1 upon gamma. Mass will get cancelled. Therefore, efficiency of diesel cycle will be equal to 1 minus 1 upon gamma into T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2. This is the formula to find efficiency of diesel cycle. Now, my dear students, let us derive the formula in terms of compression ratio, expansion ratio and cutoff ratio. Now, here put the value of T4 here as well as T3 and T2 here in the equation in terms of T1. Therefore, efficiency of diesel cycle is equal to 1 minus 1 upon gamma. T4 is T1 RC raised to gamma minus T1 divided by T3 is T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1 into RC minus T2 is T1 RK raised to gamma minus 1. Now, here efficiency of diesel cycle is equal to, from numerator consider the T1 common and from denominator T1 common. So, numerator T1 and denominator T1 will get cancelled. So, the equation will become 1 minus 1 upon gamma into RC raised to gamma minus 1 divided by here RK raised to gamma minus 1 into RC minus RK raised to gamma minus 1. Now, my dear students, from denominator consider RK raised to gamma minus 1 common. So, the equation for efficiency of diesel cycle will become 1 minus 1 upon gamma here from denominator in numerator RC raised to gamma minus 1 divided by in denominator RK raised to gamma minus 1 in bracket RC minus 1, right? Therefore, if I simplify again, here let us do some calculations or simplifications, very simple simplification. What I will do here, this gamma I will put inside, and RK I will take RK raised to gamma minus 1 I will take outside. Therefore, the efficiency of diesel cycle is equal to 1 minus 1 upon RK raised to gamma minus 1 into RC raised to gamma minus 1 divided by gamma RC minus 1. This is the efficiency of diesel cycle, which is very important formula. This is very important formula, right? So here the formula for efficiency of diesel cycle is 1 minus 1 upon RK raised to gamma minus 1 into RC raised to gamma minus 1 divided by gamma RC minus 1. This is the formula to find efficiency of diesel cycle. Now let us understand the effect of operating variable on the efficiency of diesel cycle. Now first of all, this diesel cycle efficiency is a function of compression ratio Rk, cutoff ratio Rc and gamma. So here number one, let us say if gamma is constant and Rc is constant, and if I vary Rk, then what will happen to the efficiency? If Rk increases, that is compression ratio increases, my dear students, this compression ratio is to the denominator of negative sign, means this denominator increases, means this negative factor goes on decreasing, therefore 1 minus this factor will goes on increasing, therefore efficiency of cycle goes on increasing. Therefore as compression ratio goes on increasing, the efficiency of cycle goes on increasing, and as compression ratio goes on decreasing, the efficiency of cycle goes on decreasing. And my dear students, we know that for Otto cycle the compression ratio was 6 to 12, and for diesel cycle this compression ratio is 16 to 22. 16 to 22 means the compression ratio for diesel cycle is more than Otto cycle, hence the efficiency of diesel cycle is generally more than Otto cycle efficiency. Very important point. Now next, second thing, now if gamma is constant and compression ratio is constant, let us vary cutoff ratio, that is Rc, when Rc increases. My dear students, when Rc increases, here this numerator will increase as well as this denominator will increase. In denominator there is gamma into Rc minus 1, right? Numerator increases as well as denominator increases. But my dear students, in numerator it is Rc power something. So increase in numerator is more than increase in denominator. Therefore finally this term, this negative term goes on increasing, and 1 minus this term goes on decreasing. Therefore efficiency of cycle goes on decreasing. Therefore as cutoff goes on increasing, cutoff ratio goes on increasing, efficiency goes on decreasing. And my dear students, we know that what is cutoff. Let us understand from PV diagram. Let us understand from PV diagram. See, from 1 to 2 there is reversible adiabatic compression, and 2 to 3 there is heat supply, that is at 2 fuel supply is started, and at 3 fuel supply is cut off. Now therefore this ratio is nothing but fuel supply. So if fuel supply is minimum, then it is always better, right? And if fuel supply is maximum, then it is always worst condition. Hence as Rc increases, Rc is nothing but this Rc is a ratio of V3 divided by V2. Therefore as Rc increases, this V3 goes on increasing, that means fuel supply goes on increasing, which decreases the efficiency. And as well as Rc decreases, cutoff ratio decreases, efficiency of cycle goes on increasing. Then third factor is, if Rc is constant and compression ratio is also constant and cutoff ratio is also constant, then vary the gamma. As gamma increases, my dear students, as gamma increases, here monoatomic gases always gives higher efficiency as compared to diatomic and triatomic gases. For monoatomic gases, gamma is having maximum value. As gamma increases, see this in denominator this term will increase, therefore 1 upon this term decreases, and 1 minus this factor goes on increasing. Therefore as gamma increases, efficiency of cycle always increases. And my dear students, remember that for monatomic gases we have seen this gamma is equal to 1.67 for monatomic gases, 1.4 for diatomic gases, and 1.33 for triatomic gases. Therefore monatomic gases will be having always higher efficiency as compared to diatomic and triatomic gases. And as this gamma value decreases, the efficiency of cycle also goes on decreasing. Simply if we can say, if I want to increase efficiency, we have to increase compression ratio, or we have to increase Cp divided by Cv, that is gamma, specific heat ratio, or we have to decrease cutoff ratio. Then only efficiency of diesel cycle will increase. Again, one more thing is that the temperature, self ignition temperature of diesel is less. Self ignition temperature of diesel is less as compared to Otto or petrol. Self ignition temperature of diesel is less than temperature of self ignition of petrol, right? That means the diesel starts ignition at lesser temperature as compared to petrol. Therefore my dear students, in case of petrol engine, for ignition we need to provide spark plug. Hence here, as ignition temperature is high, we need spark plug. and as in case of diesel cycle self ignition temperature is less, so no need of spark plug, only compression is sufficient to start ignition, hence it is called compression ignition engine. And petrol cycle, which is nothing but Otto cycle, is called spark ignition engine, SI engine. Now many times in exam they will mention that cutoff takes place at X% of stroke or heat addition ends at X% of stroke. Now what is the meaning of this? Let us draw PV diagram. From PV diagram let us understand this pressure versus volume diagram for diesel cycle. Now process 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic compression, then 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat supply, and 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic expansion, 4 to 1 is constant volume heat rejection. 4 to 1 is constant volume heat rejection. Right, these are the various processes. Now here cutoff takes place at X% of stroke. Now stroke is nothing but from 1 to 2. From 1 to 2 it is called swept volume, right, or displacement volume. This is called one stroke. Therefore stroke is nothing but, here stroke is nothing but V1 minus V2. This is swept volume. Now cutoff takes place at X% of stroke, means see fuel supply starts at 2 and fuel supply is cut off at 3. Therefore from 2 to 3 it is a heat addition. Therefore they are saying that this cutoff, which is nothing but V3 minus V2, is X% of V1 minus V2. This is the meaning. That is cutoff takes place at X% of stroke or heat addition ends at X% of stroke. Now divide both sides by V2. Therefore V3 divided by V2 minus 1 is equal to X% of V1 divided by V2 minus 1. Here V3 divided by V2 is cutoff ratio. Therefore RC minus 1 is equal to X% of V1 divided by V2 is compression ratio, RK minus 1. This is a very important relation which is useful for calculation of numericals. And my dear students, X% is nothing but X divided by 100, right? Let us say 10%. 10% means 10 divided by 100, which is nothing but 0.1. Let us say 5%. 5% means 5 divided by 100, which is nothing but 0.05. This is how we can calculate X%. And if cutoff takes place at X% of stroke or heat addition ends at X% of stroke, then it is nothing but RC minus 1 is equal to X% of RK minus 1. Thank you dear students. In next lecture we will start dual cycle.